So actually, we found out that it was going to be broadcasted through the TV. And we saw it in live streaming. We saw Lord Mayor taking the role of showing who was going to be the winner. And it was funny because we were all, we were hoping for a good result. I think we were very proud of our proposal. And there was a white veil in front of the panel, and it was windy. It looked like a very cold day with some wind. It was early in the morning, and the veil was just moving, and we could see just a glimpse of the panel. So at the end, we recognized that it was ours, even before they uncovered the veil. So I guess we knew that we won before anyone did. So that's how we found out we won. Very, let's say, in an exaggerated way. So normally we go out of the studio, we go into the street, there's a bar right beside us, and we start celebrating and drinking, and celebrating and drinking again. And then, since it was in the morning, so we were a little bit less effusive, less exaggerated than other times. But my colleagues, yes, they ended up at 9 o'clock in the night, still celebrating. So yes, I mean, for us, winning a stadium and actually seeing that our idea is chosen is a very big deal, because these competitions are very difficult. They're international competitions with very big architecture firms, and it really cannot be understated how difficult it is to win one of these. So for stadiums, it is more typical to win these competitions. And I know that, so we already won 4. We won the Bernabeu. That was our first. I know that we started kind of big, but then we won one in Bolivia. It was also an international competition with very strong firms. We won the Gran Canaria Island as well. And this is the 4th one that we've done. We've got assignments for stadiums also, but yes, we win the hard way, let's say, during competitions. So I think the site was very important, that we saw that it had potential. The size we also liked. It's not about getting the best and biggest stadium with more seats. It's about being able to put something on the board that's different. And I think the Ostrava competition did have that. So that is why, and it was a very difficult, meaning that first we had to be selected, then there were 10 teams that were selected in the first round, and the second round there were 4. So we knew from the very beginning it's going to be a tough one to win, but the site and the place was key to accept it. So I think that's the most difficult part. It's to design something that really relates to the place, to the people, to the culture. So it takes a lot of back and forth until you synthesize in a very abstract way. And I think that's why you pick it up right away. So just synthesizing all those nuances and all the way you access a building, the surroundings, the materials that are in the area. And you end up just concentrating all those intentions in a very simple idea. And that definitely is the most difficult one. But that's where we feel better. I mean, I think that's one of our key points, that if you see our portfolio, all the different stadiums are different, are completely different. It's not a formula that you keep repeating. You have to really adapt to the place, and I think we feel quite comfortable doing that.
During the competition, we made a lot of research on the site, not only on the stadium, the former stadium, but also before the stadium was there, and we were actually very attracted by the idea of having a basalt quarry in the place, and it was a major influence. We could tell that it's a club that is really bonded to the city, to the people, the inhabitants of the city, and even the region as a broader area. And we feel like doing the even though the stadium is meant for a club, it would also be a main symbol and a main reference, architectural reference for the city as a whole. Actually, the design, it's true that it's maybe the more lighter part, the part related with the facade and the roof, since it has to be more light, it has to do more with steel, and with that part of the Silesian Moravian region and all these factories, steel factories, but also there's maybe something that is not still haven't seen yet on the images, but all the basement and all the areas that are, let's say, below the pitch level, they are all more related to the mining, more related to the basalt, to that fact of the quarry, the place. So it's actually we are playing with both concepts. We are playing with the steel works and the steel industry, but also with the mining, and you will soon see more images where you can understand like the inners and all the inside spaces and what's the reality with the mining. You will see that. Well, it took us a while, even though we had more or less we had a very clear objective of what we want to get. We wanted to relate it with the culture. We wanted to relate it with the heritage of the place. We didn't want to do a stadium that it could be anywhere in the world, but specifically in Ostravě and specifically in the Bazalech grounds. And for that we had to do a lot of research. We really had to understand and don't try to do things in a way that it's too obvious, but really related to the place and the people. So we did a lot of research, and then afterwards we got all our designers to start putting ideas on top of the table, brainstorming, and what we basically do is we funnel all those ideas in order to get like the most pure one. And we normally what we do is we try to reach for a concept that really explains the whole project, so that everyone in the team, even though if it's a structural engineer, if it's another kind of collaborator, I don't know, sustainability consultant, junior architect, senior architect, doesn't matter. If everybody understands what is the concept behind, they are able to do their best in that direction. So everybody goes towards the same idea, and it has played very well for us, that way of working.
Well, in designing stadiums, the functionality is always a big compromise. And there's always like different levels, like for the football, the game, the tiers that getting in, getting out, the VIP levels, which are different in function. And in this case, and also there is a different situation, because well, as the brief was very big and has a lot of issues, it has also different areas of that are not only the stadium. They have the training areas, the offices for the club, and I think the mix of all of them is the key stuff for this project.
So, being the most modern stadium, I think it's not what we want to achieve. So we want to achieve, because we want to achieve something that really relates to the people. that they find interesting, they find personal, relating to the place itself. Because the technology keeps changing, I mean, a modern stadium is constantly being renewed. It's a very dynamic area, the sports. So trying to be the most modern is not what we're trying to achieve.
Probably is the place where it is, which is in very different heights levels, and also it was like a basal quarry, which gives an idea of the movements that the terrain has, and I think that's the we get a big effort in that, like making the piece that is right low, where it contacts with the houses that are on the back, and it becomes very high, looking to the city, and I think that's make it quite unique.
We are an international firm. We have offices in Barcelona, Madrid, and Paris, and other parts of the world. So it really didn't make a difference. I think everybody understood that the design was achieving what they wanted to modernize the image of the club, and there was some criticism, but it faded away very fast. So it wasn't a major problem.
Yes, of course. It's well, it's bigger. It's more expensive, it's everything like more and more, but they also have some things in common, which is very, very interesting. Probably they are both, stadiums are quite tight, they are quite inside the city, or with the difference between them, but they are inside the city, quite tight, quite tall, and I think we have learned some things from the Real Madrid that we can do in Ostrava. Well, it will fit in La Liga also. I think in Spain there are very different levels of teams and stadiums, and it will probably could be a very good stadium in La Liga.
Well, we are used to work internationally, because that would be the main handicap when you are doing architecture abroad. No? You have to take that time to understand the place. You have to have a lot of conversation with local people, with other colleagues, and really understand the in and outs of the place where you're working at. And taking the time also to go visit before a competition is not easy. So that would be the main. It's similar to other stadiums. That because, as I said, we work internationally, but that would be like the main challenge that we found. We keep finding.
I think our first steps will be to review again the competition, and make sure that we tailor the needs of the stadium to the needs of the municipality, the people from Ostrava, and the Banik. And the Banik Club. So basically it's going back to the drawing board and making sure that all the decisions are correct. I mean, stadiums get outdated very fast. I mean, right now you use the telephones, the Wi-Fi, you have scoreboards. All that has changed. Before you were standing up, now you're seating. So all that changes the stadium very fast. So I would say that in 15 years, every 15 years they have to be renewed. But that's why it's very important to design something that relates to the people, that goes beyond the technology, that people feel comfortable with, that they're identified with the place, because they get outdated very fast.
For sure, yes.
Yes, definitely.
For sure.
It would become a landmark and an attractor for the city, and probably it will make some changes in the surroundings that can be better using and more comfortable for the neighbors.
My favorite is let's say the cylinder, the facade itself, because it looks like a fortress, and it relates to the history of many places in the Czech Republic where you have this historic building that stays for a long time and people relate to. And I think the stadium has that kind of quality, and that's what I like best.
I think it would be the podium, the basalt podium, which is something that remains to the history of the place and makes it quite different to other stadiums in the world.
I would say the circulation areas, which is something that normally is not paid attention normally. I mean, the way you get to the stadium, the way you move around the stadium, and of course the way you get out, that experience, I think that we put a lot of effort in having a really interesting experience and related with the fans, you know, how they experience the stadium, or the visitors. No, for example, if they have the chance to do a tour, so that they when they are walking around the stadium, that they feel, you know, that heritage from Ostrava, they feel the industrial heritage, the mining, all those areas. So they are like small details, but I think I'm really looking forward to keep designing them, because I think we have a very great opportunity in this project to do something very special.